Mississippi has not elected a Democrat to the United States Senate since 1982, and it has not sent an African American to the U.S. Senate since the Reconstruction period after the Civil War. But a new poll shows that African American former Democratic Mississippi Congressman Mike Espy is competitive in Mississippi, where on Election Day they will not actually be electing their senator. It will function as a primary election where the top two finishing candidates will then have a runoff on November 27th. Mike Espy looks as though he is strongly in the running for one of the top two spots. And it is unclear what would happen in the follow-up election, given that the Republican running in the race does not already have a majority of the vote. NBC's Cal Perry has just returned from talking to Mike Espy and Mississippi voters, and Cal Perry joins us now. Cal, what did you find in Mississippi?
Well, listen, Lawrence, in so many of these races across the country, the road to victory and the margin of victory might lie in turning out that African-American vote. But for Mike Espy in Mississippi, it's all playing out on hallowed ground.
You go vote? All right. You go vote for me?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to help everybody, including you.
There's something going on around the country, right?
Yes.
Some people say it's a blue wave.
Right.
Is Mississippi going to continue that, or does it stop in Mississippi? I mean, you have an uphill climb.
It's an uphill climb, but I've climbed uphill before.
Espy is the first black since Reconstruction to win a congressional seat from Mississippi.
I'm excited, appreciative, and humble to be asked to serve this nation.
So where has Mississippi been? Where are we going? And
We're right here in Ferry Street. And Ferry Street, really, during the Jim Crow era, was a black mecca of Mississippi. So it's fallen a little bit now into disrepair. And I'm glad that you decided to have this interview in this restaurant that's been here since 1939, because it shows where we've been and where we have to get to again, with a little bit of attention, with a little bit of concentration, with someone who really cares about the economic status of Mississippians. And now I'm talking about not just black, but all Mississippians. I don't look at race so much as I look at economic possibilities, common ground for everyone, regardless of race.
This is very much in line with the ideas of Fannie Lou Hamer.
Are you afraid of being killed?
I think about it sometimes.
In what way?
When somebody called and said, we have you located, we're going to put you in Mississippi River.
Talk to me a little bit about Mississippi. Why do African Americans need to get out and vote in this election?
Because it's important for us. You know, Mary Evans?
In a vacant lot about 40 yards away, a sniper fired a single shot from a high-powered rifle at Evers' silhouette.
He died for us. And when he died fighting for us, I don't miss a vote. I vote.
And we are saying to Mississippi, give us the ballot. Give us the ballot, and we will transform the salient misdeeds of bloodthirsty mobs into the calculated good deeds of orderly citizens.
A million nights, I didn't know if I'd get back home or not. And we broke the barrier, and we're there now.
We are going to make this old, broke-down Mississippi a new Mississippi.
How do we remind the next generation of how important the sacrifices were?
By educating them. We have to tell the stories. We have to show them the way to the poll. We have to take them. None of our dead heroes took it for granted. My husband put his life on the line daily, not knowing if he's going to come back home, because he was trying to educate people to vote. Going on plantations at night after the boss man had gone to bed, registering people to vote, getting them to learn how to write their name for the first time.
This race does go through the black community. Okay, I'm not pretending that it doesn't.
There's something happening in the South. There's a new South that's rising. We are not going back to the old South. This is a new South that is inclusive to everybody.
Sometimes I'm hopeful, and sometimes I doubt it. But eventually it's going to happen.
Lawrence, as you said, this will not be over on November 6th. It's quite likely that we'll have a runoff. We can put those numbers up for you one more time. The math works out like this if you're a Republican strategist. Cindy Hyde-Smith goes off against Mike Espy. She takes all of Chris McDaniel's votes and wins in a landslide. Here's the problem with that analysis. On November 7th, every television camera in the country is going to be in Mississippi, and people like LaTosha Brown are going to be focusing on getting that vote out.
And Cal, when you hear LaTosha Brown say that something new is happening in the South, it seems like with your report that you can't avoid the feeling of what happened in the South in the past when you think about this new South.
No, and you're talking to a generation that is slowly disappearing. It is America's history. It is the story that makes this country the country that it is today. And people my age, I think, are recognizing that those folks are starting to disappear. And when you interview them and when you talk to them and you hear things like there is still blood on my state Senate seat where I have sat for 50 years, it gives you a sense of real responsibility if you live inside that community, Lawrence.
Cal Perry, thank you for that moving report.